Hi. In today's conversation, I'd like to share a few thoughts on some of the first things that you can begin doing when you receive a medical writer test, or sometimes referred to as a medical writing assessment in the job search process. This is more often than not linked with medical communication type jobs, as well as CME or continuing medical education type jobs, and less often associated with regulatory medical writing jobs. When I say respond to medical writing assessments, it doesn't necessarily mean responding with a completed assessment because we'll be talking about that in a later conversation. In today's conversation, is really about um, some ways in which we can begin showing medical writing behaviors as soon as we see that test email. So imagine you open up your inbox and you see an email that says, we'd like you to take this medical writing test. So there are three things that should be done. Step number one is to acknowledge that email. And by that, it means just respond to that email saying, thank you for an opportunity to take part in this medical writing assessment. That's the first sentence. And in the second sentence, establish or confirm the deadline. Read the email carefully, and if the email specifies a deadline, repeat that deadline and say, this deadline is agreeable by me. Or if the email doesn't have a deadline and it says, get this back to us um, at your earliest convenience, then it's your responsibility to quickly scroll through that assignment, get an estimate of how much time it might take to complete, establish a deadline in your mind, and mention that deadline in the email. That's the second sentence. And in addition to that second sentence, it's also important to confirm that deadline and say, is this something which is okay with you? And finally, the third component of this response email is to ask where the assignment should go to, which is a very simple question stating, should I respond with my completed assignment to you, to your inbox, or are there other recipients that need to be included in this email? So by doing these things, by acknowledging the email, establishing a deadline, and finding out who the recipients are, you are already beginning to show medical writer behaviors even before you have submitted your completed assessment. So think about that and all the best.